You know that moment when you're standing on a curb, your phone's at 2%, it's raining, and you're thinking, do I hail a taxi or do I try to book an Uber? Today we're getting practical about that choice. Not in theory, but in real life, airports, late nights, busy downtown, and those weird situations where your pickup point doesn't make any sense.
And we're not here to crown one winner forever, because the right answer changes depending on where you are, what time it is, and what you care about most. Speed, price, safety, comfort, or just not having to talk to anyone.
Let's set the scene. You just landed at the airport. Bags in hand. You want out. What are you doing?
At an airport, I'm immediately thinking about the rules. Some airports make rideshare pickups a scavenger hunt. Like, go to level 3B, door 47, then cross the bridge, then stand on the purple circle. Taxis are often right there in a line. In that case, taxi can win on simplicity alone.
Yes, convenience is underrated. But then there's cost. Sometimes that taxi line feels easy until you remember the meter may run slower or faster depending on traffic. With rideshare, you usually get the price upfront, which can be comforting, unless it's surge pricing and the upfront price is horrifying.
Surge is the emotional roller coaster of rideshare. You open the app and it's like, your 6-minute ride is now $42. That's when taxis start feeling very attractive.
But taxis have their own wild cards. You might get a driver who knows every backstreet, or you might get a driver who seems determined to take the scenic route. And that brings us to the first big decision factor, predictability.
Exactly. If you want predictable fare, rideshare often wins because you see a number before you commit. If you want a predictable process, like a clear taxi stand, a regulated system, a visible line, taxis can feel more straightforward.
So let's imagine a different scenario. It's a Saturday night, you're leaving a concert, thousands of people are trying to do the same thing, and your phone is struggling to load anything. What's your move?
In a crowd, rideshare can become chaos. The app says your driver is arriving, but you're staring at a sea of cars, none of which are your car, and everyone is shouting, "Are you Kevin?" In that moment, a taxi line, if there is one, can be way calmer.
Unless there are no taxis, of course. I've had nights where the taxi stand is basically a rumor. Like, someone once told me a taxi might appear, but no one has witnessed it.
That's where local context matters. In some cities, taxis are everywhere. In others, rideshare is the only realistic option unless you want to take public transit or walk a mile and a half in uncomfortable shoes.
Let's talk about waiting time, because that's what people really feel. When you request a rideshare, you're watching that little car icon creep toward you. It can feel like progress, even when it's not. With taxis, you might get one instantly, or you might be stuck with nothing.
And rideshare wait times can be misleading. A driver might accept then cancel, or they accept and then they're magically not moving. With taxis, the uncertainty happens up front. Either you got a cab or you didn't.
Okay, pricing. Because we have to. Let's break it down so it's actually useful. What makes Uber or similar rideshare apps expensive? Demand, distance, time, and sometimes just bad luck.
Plus little add-ons. Booking fees, airport fees, and in some places tolls that can surprise you. Taxis can also have surcharges, late-night fees, airport fees, extra passenger fees, extra luggage fees. The point is, neither option is always cheap.
So here's a simple trick. If it's not urgent, check both. Open the rideshare app. Look at the estimate. Then look at your environment. Are there taxis around? Is there a taxi stand? If there's a posted rate to downtown from the airport, even better. Make it a quick comparison instead of an identity crisis.
And if surge pricing is high, wait 5 to 10 minutes if you can. Demand spikes when everyone leaves at the same time. If you step into a coffee shop, walk a couple blocks away from the venue, or just let the crowd thin out, that price sometimes drops.
But don't wander somewhere sketchy for the sake of saving $5. Which brings us to safety. People talk about safety like it's a single checkbox, but it's more like a set of habits.
For rideshare, match the license plate and car model. Don't just rely on the driver saying your name, because anyone can say your name. Look at the plate. Confirm the driver in the app. And if something feels off, cancel. You don't owe anyone a ride.
For taxis, you want to make sure it's a legitimate cab. In a lot of places, real taxis have clear markings, a meter, a company name, and an ID visible. Be especially cautious about random people offering you a ride outside a station or airport. If it doesn't feel official, it might not be.
Also, regardless of taxi or rideshare, share your trip details with a friend if you're going alone at night, and sit in the back seat if you prefer more personal space. That's not paranoia. That's just smart.
Let's talk comfort and experience, because that changes the vibe. With rideshare, you often know what kind of car you're getting. Basic, comfort, premium, bigger car. With taxis, it's more of a mystery box, depending on the city.
And then there's conversation. Some taxi drivers are absolute storytellers. Some rideshare drivers want quiet. Some want to talk. If you want a quieter ride with rideshare, a lot of apps now let you indicate preferences. With taxis, you're going old school. You set the vibe with your first few responses.
Payment is another thing people forget until the end, which is the worst time to remember. Rideshare is app-based, no fumbling. Taxis can be card, cash, or both, depending on the city and the cab.
Before you get into a taxi, it's totally fair to ask, do you take card? If they say yes and then suddenly the machine is broken at the end, that's a problem you don't want. Asking up front saves stress.
Let's do a rapid-fire section. Quick scenarios, quick answers. Ready?
Hit me.
You're at an airport with a clear taxi stand and your rideshare app shows a huge surge.
Taxi. Easy.
You're in a city where taxis are rare but rideshare arrives in 3 minutes.
Rideshare. Don't romanticize chasing a cab that doesn't exist.
You're leaving a stadium and the pickup area is a mess.
If taxis are available nearby, taxi. Or walk a few blocks to a calm pickup point for rideshare.
You're traveling internationally and you're worried about language barriers.
Rideshare can help because the destination is typed in. With taxis, have the address written down, preferably in the local language if possible. Either can work, but prep matters.
You're on a tight budget and you're not in a hurry.
Compare options, avoid surge, consider public transit. But between taxi and rideshare might be easier to price check. In some places taxis are cheaper, though, so don't assume.
Here's something we haven't touched: ethics and labor. Some people prefer taxis because they're often more regulated and tied to local licensing. Others prefer rideshare for its flexibility and app convenience. There isn't one correct moral choice, but it's worth thinking about what system your money supports.
And accessibility, too. If you need a wheelchair-accessible vehicle, options vary widely by city. Some taxi fleets have accessible cabs. Some rideshare platforms have specialized options. The best move is to learn what's reliable in your area before you urgently need it.
So if we had to leave listeners with a simple framework, it would be this. First, check availability. Second, check the price. Third, check the pickup situation. How annoying will this be? Fourth, consider safety and payment. And then pick the ride that reduces stress, not the one that wins an online argument.
Because the best ride is the one that gets you where you're going without drama. And ideally without you standing outside staring at your phone, like it's going to apologize and start working again.
Next time you're deciding between a taxi and Uber, ask yourself, do I want the simplest pickup, the most predictable price, or the fastest exit? You usually can't get all three, but you can pick your priority.
And if all else fails, remember the oldest strategy in the book. Walk half a block, breathe, and reassess. The curb is not a great place to make decisions.
That's it for today. Wherever you're headed, hope your ride is smooth, fairly priced, and shows up when it says it will.